Good morning, everybody. And this is a pre-record of Pwnery's Week in Review, episode 31. Wow. I've done so many of these, and yet nobody's watching them. I'm kidding. Thank you all who do actually watch this, and thank you all who do comment and like and subscribe, and I'm glad that you do. And I am doing this pre-record because Saturday, the 8th, January 8th, 2022, is my area's first gun show of the year. So what I thought I would do is put out this pre-record so you have a week in review episode, but I am sort of flying solo tonight because I'm doing this the night before, just so I can have all this out there for you. My 2021 was weird. So the last 5 months was just a comedy of errors. Just failure after just what the fuck, right? But, you know, I came across it and on the other side of it just fine. And I've had a few really good friends and other cohorts get me through it. So it's kind of funny when the psychiatrist actually needs therapy, but I don't. So anyway, the only reason I'm doing this pre-record is because I'm trying not to burden my fellow co-hosts. They don't know I'm doing this yet. I will probably let them know after I record this. And I just want to go to the gun show tomorrow. So usually, we do these live on Saturdays. And the best deals at my local gun shows are Saturday mornings. So I really need to be there early. So by the time this airs, I will already be at the gun show and probably finished with what I'm doing there and halfway home already before this episode concludes, to be perfectly honest. But I got to get up early. So I started this show originally to sort of force myself to get up and to continue my routine that I do throughout the week, and to motivate myself to get things done, because I have this job where I get my weekends off, but for some reason, me personally, I don't mentally switch off very well. So my first day of my weekend off is usually squandered, just because by the time I realize, oh hey, I've got some free time, I can do some things, the day's over. So I started doing the show Saturday mornings to sort of make sure that I get up and to put myself to task, more or less. So since I don't have a regular panel this week, my personal weekend review is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. I had 2 personal disasters, relationship-wise, and I had several personal disasters where friends committed suicide. So it wasn't the best of years, but I grit my teeth and trudged on. And this year's started out sort of different. So work is good. Firearms purchases are sort of crippled right now because of previous year's disasters, sort of bankrupting me, especially since I'm self-funded. But, from the ashes of defeat and despair, something really cool happened. So I have reconnected with a childhood friend of mine, and she's very receptive. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, um, the day before New Year's, from last week, our episode covered the death of Betty White, which was kind of sad to me because I thought she was a really cool lady in terms of her influence with society, humanity, and Hollywood in general. And I really admire a person who dedicates continuing to collect a paycheck so far into her 70s, 80s, and 90s to continue her actual passion in life, which was to work with animal rescue, like California condors and large breed animals and just whatever. She was definitely um, a lover of animals. So, props to her. She was a really cool lady. And, I always tell people that I was born a generation late because I'm the product of a second marriage. My dad was born in 1935, and he's still around. Um, so, like, I can sort of gravitate and relate to people like that much better than usual. And I found her fascinating. So, last week we dealt with that. This week we're dealing with another just giant icon that we had lost today at the time that I recorded this video. We will get to that. I do have 4 stories for you since it's just me today. And this is going to be a very short, sweet, and to the point. Um, I notice that most of my cohorts, they usually um, they'll do a recording where they say, "Hey, not doing a show this week for whatever reason." So what I thought I would do differently is I'm not doing a show tomorrow, but I'm gonna give you stuff anyway. And I see that Night Strike jumped in, which he's probably wondering what the hell I'm doing right now.
I can leave. I just wanted to talk to you, but I can leave.
Well, I'm pre-recording something just because I'm not going to be available in the morning.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, if you have something you want to tell me, go ahead.
No, no. I just if you're pre-recording, I don't want. I'll leave.
Okay, it's cool. We'll catch up later. It's fine. So anyway, I've got I've got 4 stories for you, just to kind of be, short, sweet, and to the point, quick and dirty. Um, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started with that. So my personal weekend review, not really a whole lot going on. I sort of bankrupted myself with, you know, bad choices, but that sort of led to why I can't buy certain things that I had been in auctions for the last 2 weeks. Things happen. It's fine, whatever. Um, but for every door that slams closed, another window opens. So that was totally cool. Um, I will I will expand on this later. What I mean for my own personal uh, enrichment and enlightenment, whatever. But I'm over my cold, flu, Rona, whatever the hell it was. Um, I do have a bit of a dry cough that I can't get rid of, but whatever. Um, Muscle aches in my pecs, in both pecs this time. Not sure what the hell that is. I have a tooth that broke, sort of, and that kind of hurts because it's very sharp, and I'm sure it's going to hit the nerve eventually. So that's going to have to be addressed. I'm going to the first gun show of the year, 2022, with my Mossberg Shockwave with the intention of selling it, since I have no intention of keeping it, to maybe help deal with this tooth situation or other situations. But it is what it is. So anyway, let me go ahead and give you the stories of the week, because I did not intend for this to drag out for very long. I just wanted to say that, hey, I'm not doing a show that's live tomorrow. It is what it is. Sorry for it, but I'm still going to give you some stuff to work with. So, for the news of the week, the first one sort of dropped into my lap this week, and this was this. 3 dipshits in Georgia have been sentenced to life in prison for the hunting down and murder of Ahmaud Aubery. And in the annals of history, this will go down as one of the easiest slam dunk cases in legal history. These guys are vile human garbage, all three of them. So let's pull up the photo. So this piece of shit here, the son of this piece of shit here, both of these two idiots have been sentenced to life without parole plus 20 years. Good riddance. I mean, if it were me, since my personal virtue is justice, I would have sat outside the courtroom with a wood chipper warmed up and ready to go just to shove them through it. But life plus 20 years, no chance of parole, whatever. If the state of Georgia wants to go ahead and foot that bill to keep these pieces of human trash alive, so be it. But if it were me, wood chipper. This dipshit in the middle, sentenced to life in prison with the chance of parole in 30 years. So he should be somewhere in his mid-70s by the time he's even considered. Whatever. They're all going to die in jail. They're all human garbage. This whole case was a clear-cut case of... I don't know what to call it. It's just... What it was disgusting. And I've got no pity for any of these three. I do have pity for the family of Ahmaud Aubery. I do have pity for those who supported him, who feel like somebody was lost. But these three here, I got nothing. I got a wood chipper ready to go. Anyway, sick of looking at their faces, and they're gone. Haha. So that's the first story for you. Second story is sort of weird, actually. The New York Attorney General has released a video of a man who spontaneously combusted. I think it was back in October, right? Here it is. So this guy, 29 years old, stormed into the police station October 30th, argued with officers in the lobby. He had coated himself in hand sanitizer. Cops hit him with tasers. He burst into flames. He obviously died. Do you guys really want to see this video? I'm not going to bother you with it. Anyway, he died. New York Attorney General says that this had happened, and it's an officer-involved death, and the investigation's still ongoing. Either way, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I just think, hey, if you're going to go, death by cop, suicide by cop, whatever, don't coat yourself in something covered in flammable alcohol and then get yourself tasered, because self-immolation, or just immolation in general, has probably got to be one of the worst ways to go, especially considering the fact that you did it to yourself. You're going to feel everything until the nerve endings in your pain receptors burn, and then your body's going to boil. Pretty gross. And then everyone's got to deal with the smell. Now, me personally, I did my residency at Ben Taub Medical Center in Houston, Texas, which is one of the biggest trauma centers in my city. And I have personally had to deal with people at the mortuary. One was a family of 4 that died in a house fire. So immolation holds a really weird place for me, because I can't really enjoy barbecue like I used to. There's just a smell. Anyway, I don't want to gross you out with that. Next story. This is so much faster when I do it by myself. So, it is, at the time I recorded this, the 7th of January, 2022. Typically in Las Vegas, this is where all the conventions start rolling in. So you have like CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. That's usually followed by SHOT Show. And that's pretty big for you 2A guys. And what's really strange this year is the number of major manufacturers pulling out of SHOT Show this year. So let me scroll this up a little bit. Beretta, 2 days ago, announced that they were pulling out of SHOT Show because of COVID. That's their excuse. COVID. Because of COVID. Now, some of you who are part of the lobby for working stiffs or the regulars in the chats throughout the week, you always know that joke. Because COVID. Because of lockdowns. Because of whatever. And this is no different. So, there was Omicron, which has a high infection rate, but has a low fatality rate because it's a weaker strain. And what was really strange was it was a variant of mutation that came out of South Africa, and nobody had died from it in South Africa. And then when the news broke in the United States, the first person to die of Omicron happened to be in my city of Houston, which is not really my city because I keep telling you guys I live 27 miles outside of the city limits. I try not to associate with the lunacy and idiocy of democratically controlled Houston, Texas. Unfortunately, it has bled over into the county I live in. Not cool. If you heard that noise just a second ago, one thing I forgot to mention was we had puppies in my house. January 3rd, Monday, 2 a.m., my dog gave birth to 4 puppies. Yorkshire Terriers. This is puppy number... Let's see. She had 3 the first time. I kept all 3. And she's had 3 litters of 4. So this is numbers 12, 13, 14, and 15, puppies-wise? Anyway. So if you hear any weird whining or screaming, it's because I have 4 5-day-old puppies in a whelping box right next to my chair. Yeah, awesome. I have sold 2 of the 4 puppies. I have 1 male and 1 female left. I named the female... Well, let me rephrase that. I've named all my Yorkshire Terriers after world conquerors. So, the breeding pair, I have Alex, who's Alexander the Great. I have Cleo, who is Cleopatra. And then she gave birth to Charlie, who is Charles de Gaulle. Tony, which was Mark Antony. And, okay, so the first litter, I named one Eevee after a Pokemon. Anyway, that's the only one that bucks the trend. And then the second litter, I ended up selling the entire litter. And then the third litter, I kept the runt of the litter, a male, and his name is Julius, after Julius Caesar. This litter, I have 3 males, 1 female, 2 sold, 1 male available, 1 female available. 1 female I named after the world conqueror Betty, because on New Year's Eve we had lost Betty White at age 99, 17 days before her 100th birthday, and she was a world conqueror, if you think about it, in terms of Hollywood and just influence for generations. And what was really strange is I named this puppy after Betty White, and then this morning, for the first time after I had docked the tails, I got a really good look at her, and she lived up to her name because she's the first Yorkshire Terrier puppy that I've had ever that has a streak of white hair that starts at her chin and goes all the way down between her front feet. So she has white hair. Typically, Yorkies are born all black, sometimes with brown socks, which is what I've experienced. This one is all black with a white streak down her belly. So, Betty White. Kind of cool. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, so you'll have to excuse me. Beretta's pulled out a SHOT Show. SIG has pulled out a SHOT Show. Quite a few of actually the major manufacturers are slowly pulling out a SHOT Show. Because COVID. This is 2 weeks to slow down the curve. I believe this is week 106, right? Sound about right? Week 106 of 2 weeks to slow down the curve. Here's the funny thing. This is all based on Omicron. What you don't know, or maybe you do, is there is the IHU strain. IHU. Which, if you really want to play with the letters, means I hate you. But the IHU strain came out of France, and it has mutated, I think it's 46 times. That's a pretty resilient virus, if you think about it. Now, how many vaccines do we have? Plus boosters. And apparently none of them work. Is that really a vaccine then? I'll let you decide. Either way, I'm not going into the Reynolds Wrap E-Honda hour. My point is the SHOT Show pullouts were because of Omicron, and we have now got the IHU strain, which the media says, oh, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, well then what's the other thing that everyone has to worry about then? Because apparently there's this thing called, what did they call it? Flurona virus or something like that. I read it this morning. It was called like Flurona. So now all of a sudden they're combining the common flu with the coronavirus. And if you read the symptoms of the coronavirus, especially Omicron, it was like somebody had read the back of the box of Dayquil and NyQuil gel caps, because all the symptoms for Omicron was basically the symptoms of a flu. Now, I'm not sure if I had it. I don't care if I did. I don't care to get tested if I did. I haven't gotten jabbed. But I did get sick about 2.5 weeks ago. And I thought it was just I caught whatever the crap my boss brought in. Now my boss is jabbed and re-jabbed and re-jabbed and re-jabbed. And yet he still got sick to the point where I thought he was going to die in his office. And then he showed up to work the next day, granted 4 hours later than usual, and he walked around the shop, and then I picked it up on one of the worst days of my life without being sick. I had personal issues that made it the worst day of my life, and then I got sick on top of it. Thanks. Wasn't cool. I had symptoms that check off all the boxes in the list of Omicron. But I got over it in 9 days. As soon as I started feeling bad, orange juice, Emergen-C, which is like this powder thing you dump in water bottles, Dayquil, NyQuil, religiously, and at the time, I was taking 2,000 milligrams of amoxicillin for 25 days straight, because I had ignored the year prior where I got sick, and it had developed into an upper respiratory tract infection that I had ignored because I didn't think it was an upper respiratory tract infection. Till I talked to my doctor, and then he told me I was an idiot. So I was on 25 days of 2,000 milligrams a day of amoxicillin at the same time when I was sick, plus Dayquil, NyQuil, plus zinc supplements, plus a shit ton of water, plus Emergen-C boosters. I got over it in 9 days. Now, some of y'all have probably heard my other videos where I have this cough that comes up every once in a while. It's not cancer, because I already had been tested for it. I think it's allergies, and I've been trying really hard to stay on top of my antihistamines. However, now I have a dry cough, because when I cough, there's nothing coming up. Whatever. Aside from a couple of pectoral aches and a broken tooth, I'm fine. Fine. Anyway, the Yankee Marshal had did a video today, I believe, at the time that I recorded this, about these different pullouts from SHOT Show, and I tend to agree with him. You don't go to SHOT Show to see the major manufacturers. You go to SHOT Show to see the little guys, because the little guys show up there and they've got, hey, check out what we did. And those are usually the more interesting stories. Now, I haven't had a chance to put this on video, but Scott, my co-host, pointed out the fact that there is a new caliber coming out called
Hello?
30 Super Carry, I think it is. 30 caliber SC. And it's like the new Darling semi-auto round, hot rod round. And it does look promising. It is smaller, lighter, and easier to carry than 9mm. Capacity-wise is better than 9mm, and punch is better than 380 ACP. And what's funny is this Federal released this, but there's 4 manufacturers of ammo for it already, and there's 3 gun manufacturers, Smith & Wesson, and then there's one other one, and there was Nighthawk Custom making a 1911 in this already. Pretty exciting. Basically, the way I looked at it and the way I read it was, it's a semi-automatic version of 327 Federal Magnum. Kind of cool. That wasn't on the list of things to look forward to at a SHOT Show this year, but pretty cool. There's already an easy shield supposedly chambered in this caliber coming. Pretty cool. So you have a smaller, lighter, faster, harder hitting round in hollow points, where Federal, Remington, there was like 2 other ones that were already, CCI, no, not CCI, sorry, Blazer, and then one other one was making ammo for it already. Cool. Done deal. So there's that. Last story, quick and dirty. If you had tried to join the celebrity death pool on my server, and you didn't email it in already, and you didn't join it yet already, sorry, you're too late. Fuck off. Because you had plenty of time. I told you that they were due on the 1st. I had allowed a couple of people to go a little extra just because they were running late, but the list is locked in. So if you didn't make it to Celebrity Death Pool 2022, too bad. Maybe better luck next year. I've got 6 contestants this year. Winner will receive a prize at the end of the year for the highest amount of points. First huge icon to drop in 2022. None other than Sidney Poitier. There he is. Died at age 94. Today, if I'm not mistaken. If you don't know who Sidney Poitier is, then you live under a rock, or you're 20 years old or younger. You've never seen the Bedford incident. You've never seen Little Nikita. You've probably never watched any of the blaxploitation westerns of the late 60s to mid 70s. This guy was an icon. This guy has earned the respect of Hollywood multi-generationally. And it's kind of sad to see him go. Unfortunately, if you were part of the celebrity death pool, he was technically only worth 6 points. So if you didn't get him on your list, you didn't really... Nobody's running away with this one. That's all I'm saying. Now, Pete Davidson, on the other hand, who's on my list, that guy's worth like, what, 70 something points? Like, if he dies, I got this in the bag, just like last year. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So, I know that you can see Benjamin Dejo, if you know how to read Yiddish. He didn't know this was going on. I didn't know I was going to do this, but I did do this because I won't be available tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and play this because I've pretty much covered everything I'm going to do. What I'm going to do for the rest of the weekend: gun show, date with a very special Latina girlfriend that I picked up that I've known for most of my life, and I'll try to make the best of it. Thank you for watching. If you want to join my server or if you want to be part of the show, hit me up in the email address in the description below. I know it's long, I know it seems fake, but it's not. It goes straight to my inbox. Hit me up and I'll send you a one-time invite. Also, I've got an announcement for this Discord server, but I'll do that in a separate video. Just basically know that things are about to get really busy around here if you guys take me up on it. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.